All right, let's dive right in. Today we are jumping headfirst into one of the most chaotic, absolutely fascinating, and, let's be honest, pretty bewildering corners of the financial world, the 2025 meme coin phenomenon.
So, I want you to just think about this number for a second. $40.6 billion. That is the market cap of a single cryptocurrency, Dogecoin, as of September 2025. I mean, that's a wild valuation for any asset. But what makes it truly mind-boggling is where it all started.
Yep, from a meme, an internet joke about a talking dog. And that right there, that's the central puzzle we're going to try and unpack today. How does pure, unadulterated internet culture morph into billions of dollars of speculative value? It's kind of insane when you think about it.
Okay, so to even begin to understand this, we've got to get a handle on what a meme coin even is in today's market. Because, it's evolved way beyond its silly origins.
So here's the textbook definition, but the key part, the thing you really need to focus on, is right there at the end. The value isn't coming from some revolutionary new technology or real-world application. No, it's driven by hype, by the community, and by its ability to just spread like wildfire across the internet.
And this quote from our source material just hits the nail on the head. It says the crypto landscape has become a theater of cultural virality. I love that. It's not just about finance, it's a performance. It's a stage where these big cultural moments and all this speculative energy just smash into each other. So, who are the main actors on this wild stage? Let's take a look at the current heavyweights, the ones that are really defining the top tier of the meme coin world right now. And what's so interesting when you look at this table is how they've all evolved. You've got the OG, Dogecoin, now chasing mainstream legitimacy with things like ETFs. Then there's Shiba Inu, which is trying to build out its own actual tech ecosystem. And then you see these newer players, right? Like Pepe and Dogwife Hat, and they're innovating with totally different economic models or using faster blockchains like Solana to try and capture the market's attention. Okay, so this all leads to the engine that powers this entire market. And it's not a bank. It's not some big corporation. It's social media.
You really have to think of these three platforms as the essential infrastructure for the whole meme coin economy. You've got X, what we used to call Twitter, for all the real-time chatter and sentiment. Reddit is where the communities are built, where the real diehards hang out. And TikTok, TikTok has become this incredibly powerful tool for breaking down concepts and creating these viral trends that can reach millions of people in just a few hours.
And the impact? It's immediate. Just look at this number, an 80% price surge. Our source attributes that massive jump to a single viral TikTok. It's the perfect example of how quickly online hype turns into real-world value. But it's also a pretty stark reminder that what goes up that fast, well, it can come down just as quickly. And there's a pretty clear life cycle to this. It usually starts with a viral post, maybe a meme on TikTok or Reddit. Then it gets amplified. People start talking about it in live discussions on places like X Spaces. This creates a measurable spike in positive sentiment. And almost immediately, you see the price follow. It's this crazy feedback loop that can just spin up with incredible speed. So, if this whole market is driven by something as, fickle as online hype, how on earth do you even track it? Well, this has led to a whole new generation of analytical tools.
Yeah, you can pretty much throw your traditional financial indicators out the window. For meme coins, the real signals aren't in the charts, they're in the chatter. So now analysts are tracking social media sentiment, they're monitoring the blockchain for big moves by so-called whales, and they're basically just trying to read the digital mind of the crowd.
And believe it or not, we're getting surprisingly good at this. There are machine learning models, one of them is called XGBoost, that can now sift through all this unstructured text from tweets and forums, and they've achieved up to 74% accuracy in predicting meme coin trends. I mean, that is a powerful edge to have in such a chaotic market. But what exactly are these AI tools looking at? Well, it's messages that look just like this. It's a string of slang, emojis, and hashtags that, to an outsider, looks like complete nonsense. But to people in the community, it's packed with meaning. GM is good morning, LFG is let's go, and the rocket and diamond hand emojis, they signal serious conviction. Which naturally leads to a really interesting question. Can a piece of AI truly understand all the nuance, the sarcasm, and the cultural context that's packed into a single tweet like that? And the answer, at least for now, is not always. The source material makes it clear that this kind of slang and the constant evolution of emojis can really confuse even sophisticated AI.
And that's why the human element, that gut feeling, that ability to really feel the vibe of the community, that remains absolutely crucial.
Okay, so with all that in mind, let's look ahead. What are the experts predicting is coming next for the meme coin market in 2025?
A lot of experts are actually forecasting something they call a meme coin supercycle. And the fuel for this potential fire? Well, first, there's sheer simplicity. Anyone can understand the basic idea. Second, you have new platforms that make it ridiculously easy for anyone to launch a new coin. But the real driver, it's the power of a compelling community story that people can really get behind and rally around.
And the ambition here is, well, it's completely off the charts. We're already seeing projects pop up with absolutely massive valuation targets. I mean, you have contenders like SPX 6900 and Giga aiming for valuations that would put them in the same league as major global corporations. That just shows you the sheer scale of the speculation at play.
So if we boil everything we've talked about down, the recipe for the next breakout success, the next Dogecoin, seems to have a few key ingredients. It needs a story people can really latch onto. It needs a fiercely dedicated community. It has to capture that lightning in a bottle of social media sentiment. And, increasingly, it seems it needs at least a hint of real utility to give it some staying power.
And that really leaves us with a final, pretty provocative thought. We're living in a time where the next billion-dollar asset might not be born in a Wall Street boardroom or some Silicon Valley lab. It might come from a joke, from a meme, shared on the internet. And the question you have to ask yourself is, what does that really tell us about the future of value itself?